Good afternoon and welcome to the third session. Why isn't the day flying already? For the second all-day online self-pub fest. And we're talking about the nuts and bolts of publishing. So this morning we had editing and then book design, illustration, talking about all sorts of aspects of that. And it's brilliant. Everybody had their books to hand. And now we're talking about what else do you need before your book is published. So the blurb I've put on the website is this panel will be looking at what else is needed. What price do you charge? Should you use, I've developed this actually the last few days, should you use Amazon's ISBN or pay for your own? How many ISBNs should you buy? How prolific are you going to be? I don't expect you to remember all of this. What should your blurb look like? How long should it be? What should it give away? Do you have a plan for each stage of your book cycle, i.e. from the process? Do you plan ahead on how much you're going to charge and do all this? From finishing the book to getting it out into the world. So David and I have been talking about blog tours, and I've created on the website actually under the information banner. There's information, there's a few things there. Marketing, and then a side page to marketing is the information I'm gathering on blog tours, because I think that those and newsletters are the best and most inexpensive way for authors to do marketing. So we'll be talking about that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we're talking, yes, everything. Once you've got your book ready, you've had it edited, you're happy with it, the book cover's there. What are your next steps before you publish? David, I mean, you all have books, at least two to your name, some up to David, myself, who and Elizabeth, I know, and Jack. You're doing two series. We'll start with David. What do you, once you've finished a book, whether it's going back to your early books, or what is for you? What is the stage once you've finished your book and it's ready? What do you do then? Do you know how much you're going to charge for something? What's your kind of pricing structure? Do you pile them high, sell them cheap, or as in the early days it was a lot? Well, you can buy a cup of coffee for whatever it is these days, £3.50. Why shouldn't I charge £4.99, £5.99 for my ebook?
I think with charging, it's what is everybody else doing in your genre? There are programs, reports you could get that said what the best price point was.
Right.
I seem to remember ebooks at this time, it was £2.99.
Okay.
Was the one to go for. I haven't looked it up recently. If it's 99 pence, people think, oh, it's cheap, so it's probably not any good.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
Obviously, if you charge £20, no one's going to buy it because it's expensive an ebook. So this was saying £2.99. This is yonks ago. So probably £3.99 should be the thing, shouldn't it?
And obviously we're guided by, with our paperbacks, we're guided by how much it costs to print. So we're told by Amazon when we go to upload it how much it's going to cost, and therefore we want to make a profit. I think on average it's about 60% for the paperback. I think that's their sort of default option, and then 35% if it's less than £2.99, or if it's more than £7.99, it's the 35%. So they're encouraging you to go within the £2.99, £7.99 band.
For ebooks, yes.
And what do you build your blurbs as you go? How do your blurbs come about?
No, I should do. Sorry, my camera seems to have frozen.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I do blurbs at the end. I struggle with it because I find writing short things difficult to do. I'm definitely a novelist.
Right.
And I hate writing blurbs because you've got to go how wonderful this is and such like, and it's a very unnatural thing to do as an English person. So I try to pretend I'm an American when I'm writing my blurbs.
Okay. Elizabeth, how do you, because you've got various series and short story
Yes.
collections, how do you decide on the price and the blurbs? We'll stick with price for now.
Price.
How
Well,
do you
with the series, obviously, what I will do is I will price the new one at where I think the series should be, and then maybe take the other ones in the series down a little bit
mm,
to encourage people to read through. I mean, as David said, you look at what the market will bear, but you also have to remember, a Lee child's going to be charging much more than somebody who hasn't got a name at all. So you do. I try and sort of balance it so that it's reasonable. But also with my ebooks, I never go below the. I think it's 77 pence is the lowest one now for even if I'm unless I'm doing a very short promotion, I always take it up so that you get the 70%.
right,
And with the paperbacks, I actually sell far more paperbacks face to face than I do online.
yeah,
So I price them so that roughly so I get 100% profit so that it obviously it's contributing to the editing and the design, cover design
mm,
and stuff like that.
mm. Jack, how about you? Because you're based in Germany, aren't you? Do
Yeah,
you go by is because when you're uploading the files and everything, choosing your selections, you have an option of your favoured marketplace. So I put UK because my books are British and I'm based in the UK, but I think some people do .com if they think they're going to sell more in .com. Um, but how does it vary for you? And does it vary for you being in Europe?
I'm the same. I choose either UK or .com, and I can't actually remember what I chose. The interesting thing is that I use Publisher Rocket to see the metadata, the categories, to see what categories favor my book better, and then tweak that as to whether or not I'm registering the book as a British as UK or .com.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then I priced the first book at 2.99 and then the second book at 3.99. And my read-through rate is 54% or something. So I think that's okay. But I thought Elizabeth's idea of pricing in order to get the read-through, the pricing the next book lower is interesting. I priced the first book lower in order to get people into the series.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um,
I meant to scale down from yes, the lowest. The
Yeah.
first is the lowest, and then they move up to the latest.
yeah, I've never heard that. And then the blurb, I can tell you the ISBN. I would always buy your ISBNs because if you then decide to go wide or anything, if you do Amazon's ISBN and then decide later that you want to put it on a different marketplace, then you have to get a newer ISBN.
Yeah.
So the book is no longer defined by one ISBN.
Mm.
And I don't like that personally. I find that disorganized and a bit, yeah, that doesn't appeal to me at all. So I have bought my own ISBNs. And the blurb, what I do is I take it up to the inciting incident, which for me is typically the first chapter. Um, yeah, not even the second chapter. It is the first chapter. So you don't actually get any spoilers.
Mm.
And I try to be as an American as I write my blurbs as humanly possible. Right, David?
Do you use American spelling as well?
No.
Spelling.
No, just with oh, you've got to read this book. This book is excellent at the end. The little bit in bold that says why you have to then press the buy button, which is so very un-British of us. Yes, I try to be American then.
It's
But
funny,
no,
isn't it,
I'm
how we're
a British
coy.
book.
Yeah. But I know also on if you go to have a look at other and if you're doing your research for as David does for your and all of you, I'm sure for your genre, there'll be quite often there'll be the top bit in bold and there'll be three statements I can't think of anything, but a girl in trouble, and questions as well. Will she survive? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed recently, and quite often I've gone to look at the back of a book, physical paperback, where I've gone to see what it's the blurb, and it's got, especially traditionally published books, and it's a whole page of reviews from newspapers and other authors, and I think I don't really want to know how good it is. I want to make my own mind up. I want to know what the book is about. So that would put an on Amazon. If there's the whole bit and you've got to scroll down to find out what the book's about, that puts me off.
The other thing is, I understand that the title, including the subtitle, has to be somewhere on the cover. So, which is fine for factual books, but for fiction, for example. So for example, the book that I'm currently working on, the title is Broken Bridges. The subtitle is perfect for fans of tense, action-packed thrillers with a hard-hitting emotional edge. But then what I've done is the very final paragraph of the blurb that's on the back is the gripping third novel in the Stuart Finlay series, perfect for fans of tense, action-packed thrillers with a hard-hitting emotional edge. So it is technically on the cover,
Yeah,
which apparently it has to be for Amazon.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I have heard that before about the subtitle. But once you upload a book, your title is fixed. So if you want to change the format, so even if you're going from, say, matte to glossy, it requires certain aspects of it are then set in stone. But you can change the subtitle when you go in. So I'm surprised that they're telling you that you have to have the subtitle on the book, the title for sure, because that's.
I know Amazon does that, and I mean KDP did that. I did get quite hung up on that myself because I didn't necessarily want to put what was on the cover as a subtitle, but I don't know how strict they are. I haven't tested the system, and I have seen other books where certainly the subtitle does not appear on the cover, because I did look.
No, mine don't.
But it may have been ones that were published before they made that rule. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, I haven't published anything mine for a while. But...
I personally feel I don't want to risk pissing off the zone. So this is what I've been told. So this is the rule that I'm following.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I've just published a book for a friend of mine called Wave Goodbye, and it's based on a boat. And that doesn't have a subtitle. Well, I put a subtitle in afterwards actually, and it certainly doesn't have it on the back, and that's been accepted. So we shall see.
I think some of these Amazon rules, it depends on who you get at the other end. Of course, you don't
prove it,
but sometimes you get something rejected. If you submit exactly the same thing, it'll be accepted. It's just who's doing what shift, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's what the algorithm picks up, and it may well be that it doesn't pick it up, and it may well be it doesn't pick it up for several years, but then suddenly it does, and your book is taken off the shelf, and that's what bothers me. My book really disappearing. So
that's what I found as well, Jack. Yeah, it's it doesn't matter how long you've got away with it. Once they find it, it's gone. My understanding is if you've got the book up and you can do what you like with the ebook. So if you use a subtitle, but it's not on your physical cover, when you click on the format of ebook on your Amazon page, it will show the subtitle. But if it's not on your cover, I think when you click over to the paperback format, you might find it disappears.
Interesting.
I think, as you say, it's not worth flouting any. No, so I shall bear that in mind for future, and maybe add it for the next edition of Wave Goodbye. We have Julie. I know Jill's just next on the list, but we have Julie. I didn't mention, if you can't see her, unfortunately without video at the moment, but Julie Harris is with us. Jill, your first book was published by a hybrid publisher, so you had some say on it, but not total control. I know you had input into the cover. Did they decide what balance was there between you giving them the information and then them saying, no, this is how we're going to do it. So when you're leading up to publication.
With the cover, they decided what, they had the final say, but we sort of worked together. It was just, as I said, they wouldn't make it dark and thriller-like. It had to be bright and pretty for them. But with the blurb, I had total control of that. They just their editor, copy edited it. That's all. Okay. They were fine about it, and so really, whether they'd have changed it if they hated it, I don't know. But it seemed they didn't mind. So I mean, in a way, that although that wasn't the first book I'd done, because I had that was a hybrid, so it wasn't traditionally published in a sense. The previous book I'd done, which was kind of became the origin story for Avalon Sky, that was published by a traditional small press, so I didn't pay anything towards that. But that was in 2016, so that's why I self-published the second edition of that, really to support the release of the new one. So in both those, I mean, I rewrote the blurb for that one, as it was a bit, I just wanted to rehash it a bit. And then I wrote the blurb for the other one, and I'll do the same for for my new one, because that's going to be self-published. So the thing that as Jack was saying, the thing that I wanted to be able to put on Amazon was that the one that's coming out is a direct sequel to the previous one, but I don't want it as a subtitle on the book exactly. I just wanted to put, like, from the author of Avalon Sky. I don't want to say sequel, but I was going to put sequel in somewhere, but I'll have to put it in smaller print underneath because I don't want to mess them about and annoy them. But I don't mind writing blurbs, but it's very hard to get right. I never know if I've got it right.
Yeah, because in theory, if you're writing a series, they should all be standalones. But you're learning, say for instance, with crime detective novels, you're learning more as the series goes on about the recurring characters.
It's a bit different,
if they work alone.
That will mostly be the case. It's just that I deliberately left a couple of things open at the end of Avalon Sky because I wanted to do a direct follow-up to that. So, but you could read either the ones that are out now. You could read either as a standalone, even though there are a few references in the second one, and even though it follows the same backstory, I've deliberately done it so it could be standalone. It's just this particular next one. I thought I'm going to take the chance. In fact, I've even done a little note in the beginning saying, please bear in mind there are spoilers, kind of thing. If you haven't read Avalon Sky yet, you might want to read that one first, or has the effect. But I'm not going to do that with any other book. That's just that one.
No.
I think, as far as I know, as far as I can see the future.
Yeah. And did the hybrid publisher set a price, or was that up to you?
Yeah, they did. I think they're quite expensive, but that's because they want, I suppose, to be able to give me my cut and take their cut. So the paperback's 400 pages, but that's $12.75. I think that's quite dear, personally. And the Kindle was $4.95. Well, when I bring out the next one, I think probably an ideal price might be about $2.99. The one I reissued, I did $1.99, but that was only because it was a reissue and it was an old book, and I didn't feel comfortable with charging a lot. So I kind of went down pretty much as low as I reasonably could on that one. But I don't know. I'm not at all. I'm still learning, really. I've no idea what's right. I don't know what anyone else really thinks is. I don't know what anyone else charges in general for a Kindle, fiction novel.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because it's the fine balance between nobody knows who. No offence to any of you. Nobody knows who we are, versus making it cheap so that they'll read it, but not so cheap as I think it was Elizabeth said earlier on. Not so cheap. Somebody anyway.
Sorry, it was me. It was me.
Yeah. Who said that if it's 99p, people are going to think it's not very good quality.
Well, yeah, that's the worry, isn't it? I don't know what that sweet spot is. I'm sure some of you probably, you've got a lot more experience. You probably do know.
We're all trying to play a game that we don't know the rules of. And some of the rules we hear by hearsay are wrong or misleading, and the rules change. So you just do your best, don't you? I think that's all you can do.
What I've heard is that you should just experiment, because what is right for your book in your genre for your audience is not necessarily right for someone else who's writing romance or writing horror or writing whatever.
or even I know somebody who writes under two different names, both thrillers. Did a marketing campaign on Facebook that was exactly the same. You could tell just the book cover, the author's name, and the title had changed, and the way the blurb was done was the same, but different words, obviously. And one of those campaigns took off, and the other didn't. And you kind of go, why? Why did it work for the same person but differently? You know.
Wow. There are so many whys in being an author, aren't there?
Yeah.
Julie, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us, because this is your first panel, what you've written and how you, once you'd finished your book, your considerations before you published it?
You're on mute at the moment, Julie. I don't know if you know.
Ask to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, yes. You'd fall. Your audio had fallen off. I've got.
Right. Yes. Oh, I was expecting to do this at 2:30, but yes. Well, I've published 3 novels in a series, which is a crime series, but it's a cozy. I call it a cozy-ish crime series. I'm from Birmingham, and in fact, after the last session, I've just joined the New Street Authors.
Oh, great!
I didn't know they existed. But yeah, my novels are set in Birmingham in the 1970s, and which go into the 1980s, and it's around a female detective, of which there are an abundance when you go into the bookshops and look at crime. But it's the female detective. It starts off with her as a child at the age of 9, when a friend of hers goes missing, and she has almost really participated unwittingly in the child going missing and not being found. And I use that really to build her character. We then see her 10 years later when she joins the police, and it kind of forms her character of neurosis. She's not a drinker. She's not a, man going after men, or, the usual things that for detectives. She's plagued with guilt and anxiety, but her life is the police, and she's an amazing police woman, totally useless outside of her job domestically. And there's an ensemble of characters, including the villains, in book 1 that carry on through the books. In book 1, she's a probationary constable. Book 2, she's a sergeant. Book 3, she's a detective inspector. I've got book 4 ready to publish, and she's a detective chief inspector. And then my plan is that after that, young characters from the books, when she becomes a superintendent sitting behind a desk, the younger characters will emerge as the constables and the sergeants.
Oh, lovely.
So that is the thread of it.
And what do you charge? Because you've got a series. What do you charge the same for all of them? Or...
That's my problem. I've discussed this with Jill. And probably in the next session with the publishing, I after COVID and lockdown, not going on holiday, I decided to pay to have them printed and self-published. I hadn't done anything up until then, and I don't actually sell them. They were sold on Amazon, but I bought some copies. My sister-in-law bought a copy. And then I asked for the 50 copies that the publishers had, and I asked for them back, because then I needed to pay them for another quarter to sell them. I don't have a website. As one of the things I'm interested in with this self-publishing is to try and work out how to market myself. I don't market myself. So yeah, there's a price on the back, which is £5.99 for the first one in 2020.
What size? How many pages? If you've got it there, how many pages? Because that sounds very cheap. Even £7.99 these days is cheap for a
that was 22.
Paperback or ebook?
This is for the paperback.
Wow.
And it's so
You're not really selling paperbacks, are you, Julie?
I don't sell them, no. Kindle, I'd have to remind myself. I think on Kindle, £1.99, £2.99.
Okay.
I went again for the lower price because I'm not known. When I first heard about publishing on Kindle, somebody said, oh, I know somebody who charges, again, quite a long time ago, I know somebody who charges 99 pence and he sells thousands. And I thought, oh, thousands times 99 pence.
Yes, it's the age-old question, isn't it? The pilot high, sell them cheap.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes, but
versus quality.
Since I've come across, yourself and the Pub Fest, I kind of think, right, I need to get my publishers to send me more copies, and I need now to start attending events and selling them, even if it's a U3A event.
Why have you got a publisher to send you copies? Why aren't you doing it on Amazon with print on demand?
Well, that's the thing that Jill and I have just been talking about. I wasn't aware of it. This is how green I am. And I just emailed its York Publishing Services to ask them about it. And they said they can set me up to do that for £200.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
No.
You've created your own Kindle, have you? Kindle.
No, they did it. They did everything. I paid them. As I say, I was going to talk about this in the next session, but yes, I paid to print the copies, and then I paid them not very much.
Right.
All of this you can do yourself.
Yeah,
I know, and I believe me, I have tried. There's another book I've written, which is with another publisher. Oh gosh, did I make a mess of it?
Well, we all do. We all do. You shouldn't feel bad about it, or thrash yourself because of it. But do get in touch, and we can work out where you are and how to get you to the next stage.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazon actually has on the Self Pub Fest website. There's an information bit, and if you click on there, there's a sub-page that's on how to self-publish. And Amazon, there's lots of information on there, but there's also a link to Amazon Video.
Yes,
and it will walk you through.
Yes, I really.
And there are so many of us who can help you.
I co-wrote a book on exactly why you should self-publish and how to, called Publishing.
Yeah,
which I would show to you now, but my camera is not working, and I left it downstairs.
Yes, it's annoying with the camera because I wish I could hold up my books, but they're on Amazon.
That's okay.
And
well, take part.
A little blurb as well.
I can hold up Julie's book.
Oh, great!
Excellent.
I was going to say, I've just set up I've stopped doing. I was doing every Saturday night short story and poetry Saturdays, because Saturday was the only night other than Tuesday and Thursday that just.
Sorry, this is quite done.
Oh yeah.
That's the first book called Finding Linda, with a very accurate picture of the little child, really. Oh. And that one, was it? Well, that is quite dark. If I can, that's the next one.
Hold it
a little
back
away.
Hold it back a bit. It's very dark.
Yes, slightly further forward.
Does that help or not?
Perfect.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
Jill, if you could hold up the spines, because you were talking about this. I just caught the end of the last session. Yeah, the spines. They've both got a little bit higher. They've both got a little peach.
Yes, JH with an apple.
It's a peach. And
it's a peach.
Yeah, and that tree on the Finding Linda is meant to be a peach tree.
Oh, how lovely.
So I continue with that. But
well, I think it's an age-old question. Do you price it so it's accessible at 99p? But what message? You're earning a lot less. You'd earn 34, 35p.
Sure.
But does it then say that that the quality is lower?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we'll be talking about in marketing is once Amazon gets you to the 50, once you get to 50 reviews on Amazon is apparently then takes more notice of you. So then it helps you with, especially if you're in KDP Select, it then has a budget of however many millions it says that it helps people with their promotion. But then people, if you've got, say, an average rating of 4+ and you've got 50 reviews, that instantly tells somebody that, oh, actually, this is a good book. It's only 99p. There's no risk. And especially because you've got a series, and some people will only read, they'll start a series when it gets to 3 books. Because once they've got to the first one, they want the second one. Once they've got to the end of the second one, they want the third one. And then because you've then got 3 books, they'll then, the people who only read at least 3 in a series, you're happy, making them happy. So I think it's all on reviews, which again comes back to marketing and blog tours and stuff.
When I decided, well, I hadn't set myself up to sell them in any way. And my idea was I gave them away, family and friends, people I'd bored with, telling them about the book I was writing. Here it is. In the hope that they would put reviews on Amazon. But they didn't.
Well, that's tricky because if for instance your husband did it, or a child, one of your adult children did it, Amazon knows that they are, if they live at the same address, or they have the same surname, again, like the algorithms, they won't post the review because I had something. Sorry, I'd released the mute, but I hadn't clicked on ask to unmute. Sorry, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
I did see you'd been muted. And Sean asked a question earlier on, which everybody's piled into, which is brilliant. What material differences does it make if you choose .com or .co.uk to publish your book? And as everybody's answered, it's pretty much not. It's just your primary marketplace. It just means that, as I think somebody said, it comes up in the as your primary. You see all the equivalent dollars and yen and so on, so it doesn't really make any difference.
I'd also like to add to Julie, if I may. If you give your books away and then you ask them to review it on Amazon, they can review it, but it won't be a verified review unless they buy the book.
Yeah, I thought that might be an issue as well.
And any reviews that aren't verified can very well be taken down.
Yeah, that's possibly what's happened as well.
Particularly if they don't include text to the effect of, I received a free author copy for a review or something. Amazon keeps changing the text of what you should put for that.
But it's a really useful session, this. I'm learning a lot.
Oh, good.
And if I can just add to that, it's got even worse because Amazon has now just changed the rules, and they are. I haven't noticed it with mine yet, but they are taking down non-verified reviews systematically, which means not only does it sort of make a nonsense of the whole ARC system, and I know we'll talk about this in a later session, but what it also means is all the people that buy our books as hardbacks or paperbacks rather, face to face, any reviews they put up are going to be non-verified. So it's a change in what they're doing.
People can still buy your book on Barnes and Noble somewhere else and leave a review on Amazon, and that won't count either because it's not bought from Amazon.
I don't know how, because Amazon owns Goodreads, if you don't buy a book through Amazon, you can leave a review on Goodreads. And that's what I ask people to do with the free book that I have on my website in order to get people. But I don't know whether or not they're going to start looking at that somehow and change that as well. But what I would recommend, what I do is that I send my book out free to all the ARC readers. And then on launch day, I put it down to 99 cents and I ask them if they will be kind enough to buy a copy and then review it. Which they don't have to do. They can just review it as an unverified review. But I do explain to them why I'm asking them to do this. And a lot of people, once you explain, a lot of people are very kind and they will actually just buy the book. You'll get, next to no money for it, but that isn't really the point. The point is to get the reviews.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are kind enough to do that once you explain to them why you're asking them to do this.
I'll just explain that ARC is advanced reader copy. So this is something we'll be talking about in publishing and marketing. That once your book is generally leading up to publication, isn't it? So it does fit into this. You will send advanced reader copies, usually by as ebooks, to trusted people. And there are sites like NetGalley where advanced reader copies go on there. And then if you are a book reviewer, you can get free books from NetGalley and the likes, and newspaper swaps and newsletter.
So does that mean that, like, well, I'm doing a book tour, a digital book tour, not a real one, at the end of July. Does that mean that the people who agreed to review it, because they've been given a free EPUB, or does that mean that their reviews won't go on Amazon either?
Absolutely. Yes. And there's a big question mark over whether book tours actually are going to have any value because of that aspect of it.
Right.
Oh, that's nasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazon has started to monetize everything.
Yes.
It's the general.
They don't only want you to sell the books, they want you to sell the books on them, on Amazon.
Yeah.
The word we're looking for is enshittification, invented by Cory Doctorow.
I like that one.
Enshittification is when they change something to make it worse. It's very, very common.
I'm a huge fan of blog tours. This is something David and I have been discussing over the last few weeks. Because not only does it gets your book into reviewers, and the thing is, the reviewers will put their reviews on their website. Yes. And then anybody reading the reviews who goes, oh, that sounds really good, I'll go and buy it, can then buy it from Amazon and leave reviews. But not only that, so you will get sort of third-party purchases. That's the whole point of it, really, is to get it on this platform where people have already subscribed, so that they'll then see, oh, there's a new review, that sounds really good. They then go to Amazon or wherever and buy it, and hopefully leave a review for it. But also, I found it really useful to then get quotes. So with this one, this is O. Henry. At the top there, I've got, if you love dogs, you will love this book. And then the @ symbol, Simon J. Leonard. So he was one of the reviewers on the review on the blog tour when this came out. And so you've got all these little snippets. So yes, it would be great. But the blog, although they're very well respected, they are a small cog in the blog tour scheme of things. Because if you've got, say you've chosen to run for a week and you've got 3 blog reviewers per day, that's 21 people. If it goes out to say if they've got 100 each, 2,100 readers, even if 21 people, 1% of that, or 10% maths, of those people then go and buy the book and leave a review, you've still got the 21 effectively, if that makes sense. Because it's all the people who then go out and buy it, and you've got the quotes you can use for your Canva posters or whatever. So I think, that's all something to think about. So with those, David was asking that in an email, there are 4. So on the Self-Pub Information Marketing blog tours, there are 4. There's Zulu, Love Books, Rachel's Recommended Reads. I can look for the other one in a second.
Yeah, Rachel's one I'm doing it with.
Is it? And so they just go on Instagram and look for, just type in blog tour, and you can see all, because Instagram has pictures, see all these anyway, this is going into marketing a bit. But you still need you would then give them your cover, your ebook, and your blurb, and your biography, and your picture. So those are the main elements, and you give those to the blog tour operators. There's another thing is that Amazon, you can close your account if they see that you pay for reviews. That's something they're very hot on. If they can prove that you've paid for a review, then
But does that include blog tours?
No, because all you're doing with blog tours is you're paying the blog tour operator. So the bloggers themselves don't get paid. They just get sent a free book.
Okay.
So there's nothing against the tour operator. That's like Julie asking her mum, aunt who bought her books to then go and leave a review. She hasn't paid them to do it. So you're only paying for their time to.
But I just say you can. Well, I know you know this, but you can actually. With Rachel that I went with, she gave me the option to say whether I would be willing to send out hard copies or not. And I sort of said, well, as a last resort, maybe a maximum of 2 or something. But in actual fact, everyone wanted electronic copies, so it didn't cost anything.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say for Julie's benefit is that what she did ask for was the EPUB, which I didn't have from the hybrid publisher. And so I had to ask them if they would send me the Word document or something, because they hadn't sent me that final version. But they did send it to me, Julie, for nothing. They didn't try and charge me hundreds of pounds for the privilege, in case you're interested. So they should. I mean, it is in their interest. You could sell it like that. And if you wanted to do a book tour, say, this will increase sales. It will be to your advantage. So, that's kind of how I worded it.
One thing I thought we'd in the blurb I put on the page for this session is whether any of you have a plan for, because I know I've worked with authors before who have, right, this is when I'm going to finish the book, this is when this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and you all sort of almost, okay, Elizabeth and Jack got their hands up. I can't see David or Julie.
I could get my piece of paper that I'm using.
Okay.
I can't show it to you.
Hold it up to the screen. So you have a time scale because that's all part of this is what you plan to do before you publish it. So this is kind of the in-between, having written it and got the book cover and the editing done. What are the stages that go next? I mean,
I mostly use a checklist, an Excel spreadsheet checklist. So it's not a plan in the sense of I must do this by next Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's more these are the things I have to do.
I get that with. I'd be the same with Excel spreadsheets.
I have a Gantt chart, which is also in Excel, and basically for a particular book, I've got a blank version that I can just copy and paste over for the next book. But then I've got the individual other jobs, because otherwise I've got a list where I keep all of my household jobs or other jobs not related to writing. And I don't want to fill that with all the jobs that I'm doing for the writing. And it's much easier if you put them in an order, then you don't have to think, you just get up and the next day you do the next job. And I find that I'm much more productive when I do it that way. So I have a Gantt chart. I have all my jobs in order.
What have you called it?
It's a Gantt chart.
Okay.
A Gantt chart is a chart that runs along the screen, across the screen, and you say how long you're going to take to do each specific task.
Okay.
And then you get a little bar that represents that task, and then the next job has a bar, and the next job has a bar, and you can then see when things are finished.
I can just see David's face lighting up at the thought of all this, because he and I are Excel spreadsheet nerds. And
David, it's probably good that you're off camera, but dare I say to you now, it is color coded.
Oh yes, good.
Just so you don't get too excited.
Like Jack's, I can almost imagine his screen wobbling at this point.
I just find it easier because there are some things I can only do after other things have been completed.
Yeah.
And my memory is shot. I mean, I won't remember these things, so I need to write them down. And I just find that this is a really good way for me to manage that.
I mean, my big problem is my memory is dreadful. So I forget to look at my checklist and do things sort of rather randomly.
Right.
I can remember to look at my checklist. I just can't remember what's on it. So,
Elizabeth,
and
how do you work?
I do a combination of both. I have an overall Gantt chart, because I try to have a 1-year cycle for I write in November, I launch in October, and then start the next one. So I have a Gantt chart which covers the year, and like you, Jack, there are some things that can't start until the others have gone. and what have you. I also have detailed checklists. I think, Morgan, at some point you know about women in publishing, the US community. I think you were.
It wasn't me. I've heard of it.
Okay.
I'm not involved, but I get their newsletters.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
did the book launch in a box course a few years ago, and I've got
Okay.
some very detailed checklists from that.
Oh,
I don't have
great.
problems. I don't have problems with my memory. I just don't ever look at the list. So time runs away with me. The Gantt chart is always up to date. The
Yeah.
list, I forget to. I don't get everything done, but
Right.
overall it gets done.
Well, if any of you want to share anything that I can put up as a PDF, I can do that on this today's page. I can put anything or a link to a media file. I can do any of that. So anything you want to share. Julie, I've just paid for a reading review with another publisher for a different completed novel. I want the book to be the best it can be before it's in print. It's been professionally proofread. Has anyone else had a reading review? And Jack said, never heard of it. I offer a thing called just feedback, where it's sort of effectively like a full edit, but I don't make any changes to the screen. So I will give an overview and then a chapter by chapter breakdown on any issues, and I do point out typos. But so that's sort of my nearest to it.
Sounds similar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
But you can, yes, I think there'll be all sorts of places. Writers Bureau will do their versions. Jericho Writers will do their versions.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I've only just paid, so
Okay.
they have read the book, which why they felt that it could go further.
Okay.
But is that part of the spiel? I don't know. But and I just kind of thought it's not cheap, but it's not extortionate.
Right.
Let's just see what I get back.
I was going to say anything is anything as long as it's within your budget and it's obviously a reputable source, because we've had recently with Beth BB Elson, we did a spammers and scammers, and I haven't had any today. That's really unusual. You must have the day off. Right, I had Donna Tart a couple of days ago. And then she followed up because I hadn't. I thought I had sent my usual very sarcastic email saying what all these other people do, and isn't that crazy? And then at the bottom, take me off your list. Don't no reply required or wanted. And then she followed up yesterday. Just following up on my previous, and I said, I know you're not who you are. Go and get an honest job.
Oh, wow. Yes.
But so, yes, that's the thing these days is reputable sources. How do we know? I'm sure we'll cover this in marketing and so on.
Yeah. And I'll mention it as well on the publishing panel.
Yes.
Other publishers. I do know people who are published with them. So.
Right. That's fine.
The only thing I would ask, Julie, is that anything that you do after proofreading, if they're going to suggest any changes at all, then it's sort of negated.
Yes,
egg and chicken.
I'm going to be intrigued. I mean, I also a friend who is published with, and I've got her books with this publisher, had a reading review, but it intrigued me because it's going to be between 1,000 and 1,500 words, and I thought, I could sneeze 1,000 words.
Yes.
It's like, that's not an awful lot of words.
No.
But again, I've gone with it just to see where we go and then make that decision whether I go further with them.
Well, no, what I was going to say before I got sidetracked by spammers and scammers is that anything that goes to a genuine source that is within your budget, that's going to give you feedback on it, can only do good rather than hopefully harm.
That was my
Jack earlier on went with had a feedback from an editor or a whole edit on one of your early books, where she wanted to change half the book to how she felt it should go.
Yes.
And so I'm very conscious when I'm editing that this is your book.
Yeah.
So feedback, and I do say this is my professional feedback. Take nuggets from it that you feel are appropriate, and anything that isn't, then
Yes, yeah.
So I think if as long as it's within your budget, anything you have back is useful.
Exactly. And although it was a bit sort of, oh, that seemed a lot of money for not many words, really.
Yes, that does. Yes.
Let's
Then,
see.
Much money for
Are all those words perfect?
Sorry,
And I would also.
how many words?
Sorry, Jack.
yeah.
How much money for how many words?
I've paid £450.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know.
That
And I
sounds a
think
lot.
we were talking earlier on about AI. I think anything like this that we're paying to have done, you need to check the small print to make sure that they're not going to be putting the whole manuscript into an AI program and getting an AI feedback.
Yeah. As I say, one of their authors is a friend.
Okay.
And she had a reading review. I didn't really say to her, what did you have? What did they say? But so in a way, I suppose I know somebody and she's also put a review on their webpage. But yeah, I'm kind of cautiously moving forward.
Yeah. I was going to say the thing is you'll only do it once. If it doesn't work,
Yes,
then you've learned, haven't you?
yes, exactly.
I mean, we've had some authors, Andrea Woolhead, for instance, is one, who had a terrible time with a publisher and with a publisher, gave them lots of money to publish her book for her, and then wouldn't answer emails. Website didn't work anymore.
Yes.
And so, I mean, at least you've done the right thing by your due diligence.
Yes, and you probably will have heard. I'll talk about them in the publishing.
Yeah,
but you've probably heard of them because they are Chiltern based.
Oh, okay. Yeah. ISBNs. Jack said, how many ISBNs did you buy, Jack?
The pricing is a bit ridiculous. If you buy one, I can't remember the pricing. It's something like
100.
If you buy one, it's 99 quid.
Pounds or something.
Yeah.
If you buy 10, it's £150. If
60.
you buy 100, then it's like £170. So I went for the 100.
Did you?
I'm in this for the long haul, and
Well, I went several steps up from that because I thought I like the idea of these Amazon stories where you see if you're in Prime you get free books for, I think it's one story and one novel for free each month, first reads. And so I like the idea of writing. You have to be invited, unfortunately, to be an Amazon story Kindle, one of the short reads author. So I thought, go big or go home. I bought 1,000 for £1,000. So they work out £1 each. But since then, every now and then I'll see a friend, oh, I need an ISBN, but I can't afford £100. I know, so if they're friends, I give them away. Otherwise, I charge £1, so I'm getting my money back. And it's just crazy.
But I must jump in here. New Street Authors, which is a collective of independent authors, recently bought 100 ISBNs.
Yeah.
And we sell them at cost to members. We're thinking of 1,000 next time because we've rattled through 100 very quickly.
Yeah. Because also you have the different. So I put an ISBN also on my ebooks. You don't have to put an ISBN on my ebooks, but again, if I decide ever to go wide with my ebooks, then I want them to be locatable by one ISBN.
Yeah.
So once I've got an audiobook, an ebook, and a paperback. So I have that's 3 ISBNs used up for just one book.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I plan on doing this for the long haul, splat.
Well, if you publish a paperback, a hardback, an audiobook, an ebook,
large print,
and dyslexic friendly, then that's 6, isn't it?
Because that's what Helen's done. A.A. Abbott, she has dyslexia friendly books. I think it's a great idea. But she does a lot of, and that the good thing about New Street Authors, if you are able to get to the Birmingham area, is that they do a lot of live events.
But you don't have to be anywhere near the Birmingham area to be a member.
We've got. No, I am because it's Zoom every Thursday evening. I should be on commission, really, shouldn't I, Dave?
Yes.
No, you're
What
so
time
prolific.
are they on a Thursday evening? I couldn't find that on the website.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, thank you.
Straight after my 6 o'clock.
This is New Street Authors again.
Yes.
I need to look into them to find out what they are. What are they about? Can you say something?
David's put it. David, I think Dave, if you scroll up, didn't you put a link? Yes.
I did.
You put a link.
1324.
Yeah.
I was going to have a look at the chat. So Julie bought 5 and she's used 3 so far. Talking about ISBNs. Elizabeth bought 10 the first time round, then 100 the second time round. Julie again, the publisher printer had the 5, but have sent me the numbers of the remaining 2. After Finding Linda was printed on and appeared for sale on Amazon, I had a letter from the British Library telling me that the book was with them. Oh, that's good.
Oh,
You're supposed to send a paperback copy of each. They don't want, thankfully, they don't want low content. So all my workbooks, where there's space to write in them, workbooks and diaries, this side, they're not interested in those. It's just, heavy fiction. The 6 novels and 2 short story collections.
You can send PDFs to the British Library.
The other thing I would just say is that if you give away your ISBNs that you've bought for yourself, be careful who you give them away to, because there's a country code included in them. So
all right, yes,
I couldn't use yours. I have to use Germany-based.
Yeah, well, I get them under my publishing company, which is August Publishing, and so I printed my friend's book under August Publishing.
Yeah.
And Irene was Scotland, so part of
it may be fine. I've no idea the ends.
Yeah, it's UK. It's not England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, so that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
that's
fine. And also be careful who you give them to, because they're going out under your name as a publisher. Yeah. So you want to make sure that it's somebody that you're happy to have your imprint on that book.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Could I just ask very quickly, yes, because I only had the free KDP ISBN for my reprint of my older book. That's the only one I've done, and I'm not sure whether to buy an ISBN or just have the KDP ISBN for free because I mainly sell from Amazon or just ones I order for myself to sell individually at home. Is there a really big advantage to having an actual ISBN that you've paid for?
Yes,
you go ahead, Elizabeth.
You are the publisher, so you have full control. At the moment, Amazon is wonderful, and in some ways, and not in others. But who knows what will happen in the future? And it means it's your book, and you've got full control over it. Okay. But more importantly, it's more professional.
Right.
And if you see yourself as a professional author, then, in my opinion, you should have the ISBNs yourself.
Not only that,
but Elizabeth on this. If you look in the back of your books, you will see there's a barcode at the very last page of your books. Inside the cover, and it will say that it's printed by Amazon. And basically, because you've used an Amazon ISBN, the book ISBN belongs to Amazon, and they are registered as the publisher, not you. Now, that may not bother you, but again, if you decide to try and sell them elsewhere, for example, Barnes & Noble or Nook or Apple Books or whatever, then they will want to use their own ISBN. They will not use Amazon's ISBN. Unless it's your ISBN, in which case they will use your ISBN. So if a reader goes out and they're looking for your book, you've got to work out which ISBN to give them. If they want it on Amazon, if they want it on Apple Books, they want it on Nook, they want it on Kobo, they will all have, your book will be out there with multiple different ISBNs, unless you own the ISBN.
Yeah. The thing is,
it depends what sort of career you want to have from this. If you're happy just putting it on Amazon, few people read it, you're not really worried about it, then what you've done is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all fine.
If you want to put it into bookshops, I take it when you're talking about Barnes and Nobles and all that, you're talking about the platforms. But if local bookshops, these days, even the smallest shops will have an electronic stock system. so they will know where it comes from. And most bookshops won't accept an Amazon book. They will. I've got some bookshops that I get my books print on demand from Amazon, and places like Waterstones wouldn't be happy even with that. But the smaller bookshops will take them because although they're printed by Amazon, they're my ISBN.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to stay with Amazon only, then fine. But if you can afford 100, then I would recommend having 100, because as we say, by the time you have all these editions, and if you are planning on writing future books, which I know you are, then I would recommend doing that. Anyway,
I found that bookshops won't take it anyway if you're not with Gardeners. I've found, apart from Lundy Island, they took it. But apart from that, they just say, "Are you with Gardeners?" If you're not with Gardeners, they literally shrug their shoulders. Sometimes and get very unpleasant.
They can't do anything with you. But if you put the books up on Ingram Spark,
on what? Sorry,
Ingram Spark.
Oh, Ingram Spark. Yeah, okay. I haven't done that.
If you put the book up on Ingram Spark, it will be registered with Gardeners, and then bookshops can have it. And even if they don't have it in stock, you can tell your friends, they can go to their local bookshop, because a lot of people don't want to buy from Amazon, frankly.
No,
so you can say to them, you can go to your local bookshop and you can order it, and they will order it. And if they get enough orders, then maybe they'll have it in stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually register with Gardeners without using Ingram Spark, because I've never used Ingram Spark, but I've been registered with Gardeners as a publisher since the beginning. Wow. And they order from me if somebody orders it from a bookshop.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know you could do that.
Definitely.
Well, you could when I set it up. Whether you still can now, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll mention my serial data Waterstone saga when we get to publishing, which is coming up next. So thank you, everybody. Lovely to hear from you, Julie, and David, Jack, Elizabeth, and Jill. See some of you in the next session, and hopefully in the chat at least. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.